Hey guys, Dan with True North Motos. We're going to do an install video of our dual sport kit on this 2022 SE250. There'll be a fitment tab on our website when we put these on the website of all the bikes these will fit. But basically the 4-stroke, 2-stroke Enduro models of the Sherco, this kit will be universal across all of those. To start, you're going to need to remove your fuel tank, front headlight. You're going to need to drop your rear under fender. We'll make a separate video about plastic removal and everything on these bikes, but to keep this one a little bit shorter, we just already went ahead and removed everything. A note before we go over components: we're going to use our flush mount signals in the rear on this. Since this is a bike that a dealer let us borrow, we're not going to drill the holes, but I will show you the placement. But also our tail tighty will bolt right up to this rear fender. So if you want the integrated turn signals and the tail light, you can do that as well. So yeah, let's dive into components that are going to come into your kit. So kind of have everything laid out here. This is a KTM Euro switch. Don't get offended, Sherco guys. It's one of the best switches out there. It's what we use in all our other kits. So it's what we're going to use on this bike. This holds up to the Pacific Northwest weather and just stands all the pressure washing and all the abuse that goes through on these. So our favorite switch, you have your horn, your kill switch. So we will take the stock kill switch off of the bike, not to clutter up the bars. You got a high-low function, and you have your turn signals down below. You're going to get signals that you select. So this is going to vary. These are rear flush mounts, which will go in these mounts right here. We have these 3D printed by MotoMinded. Super cool mount, lifetime warranty on these signals, flexible. They can take a hit and keep on going. These are the front hand shield signals. So we'll slide these through after we drill the hole, and these boots sit on here and protect all the wiring coming out of it. This is your flasher relay, the horn. This is our headlight adapter plug, and basically what this does is plugs into the stock Sherco headlight plug from your harness, comes up to your switch for power to your multifunction switch. You have your horn leads off of here, as well as the new headlight plug. That's going to give you high, low, ground, and then auxiliary power as well. This is the adapters for your tail light. So these are going to plug in. You're going to unplug your stock tail light from the existing harness. You're going to plug these in, and it's going to come into your turn signal harness. So going over your turn signal harness, this is the front part of your turn signal harness that'll live behind your headlight mask. These are your turn signal plugs. My acronym for remembering these is red is not right. So red is always the left signal, green is the right. This will plug into the turn signal portion, your bottom portion of your switch right there. And then this is going to be your flasher relay plug right there. If you decide to go with OEM signals, the flasher relay will look different. This is an LED one that we use with our LED signals. This is a turn signal indicator bulb. So 99% of the time we don't use these. On our builds that we do, we cut these off and we heat shrink them. You can actually add a turn signal indicator bulb, so you can let us know if you want to do that, and we can make that a possibility for you. But most of the time we do not use these. If you zip tie these up and these contacts on the inside connect, then all 4 of your signals will flash at once. So that is the reason that we normally just cut these off and put a piece of heat shrink over them. If you want that done in your kit before we send it, we'll have a note section, so you'll be able to tell us that, and we can do that before we send out your harness. So coming to the rear portion of your harness, so this is where this is going to tee in. So this is right there and right there. So that's going to be in between your taillight plug on the Sherco, and then what that's going to do is bring power to your turn signal harness to power all of your signals and the lower part of the switch. And we'll go over that more in the install. Last part of the kit, this is the new kill switch wire. And what this is going to do is this is going to plug into your new multifunction switch right here. And when you unplug your factory Sherco switch, this is going to plug right back into that, and you can get rid of that kill switch and just use the new one on your new switch. So we're going to start with removing your kill switch from the Sherco. Gonna need a Phillips screwdriver. I want to take this screw all the way out so I can get it over the handlebars and remove the switch. Need a pair of snips.
That was a zip tie that you cut?
Yep.
Okay.
Feed your switch up and through. Come around to the throttle side of the bike. All right. See right here, pull back on this connector here, hold the other part, pop that out. So now your kill switch is removed. This is the kill switch wire for the multifunction switch we talked about earlier in the video. So we are going to plug this back in, just like that, and we will feed the wire up and to behind the headlight mask, and we'll leave that till later when we put the switch on. We're going to start at the front of the bike. So this is your headlight adapter harness we talked about earlier in the video. And very simple, all we're going to do, you have your headlight off already. We're going to take this female plug right here, plug that in there. This side is going to drop down for your horn, down to the side, which we will mount when we put the tank back on. And this is going to be for your multifunction switch. So we're going to leave that there for right now. We're going to come to the back of the bike. These are your adapters to plug in your turn signal harness. So these are your tail light plugs right here. You can grab one end. Don't pull on the wires, pull on the connectors. Unplug these, like so. Careful, it can fall out if your sub fender is trying to pull through. So we'll leave that hanging like that. Now, you can't really mess these up. We got them same color coded to the wires that are on the bike. So male is going to plug into the female of the yellow wire. Kind of spin it to make the boot seat. There we go. Same thing with red. Spin it so the boot can seat. Plug it in. And then black. That's all we got to do there. We're going to take this under fender, kind of hold it up a little bit, get these wires out. Same thing here. Red, give it a little spin, plug it in. That is black, so we'll give that a little spin, plug it in, and the yellow. We're plugged in. So we'll leave those just like that. And take the turn signal harness. This can only go one way. So plug your female into the male right here. Plug that guy in. And these will sit nicely right down in here. Now, routing your front wiring. Gonna kind of want to move stuff around. This will take a little bit of finesse to get all this stuff through. What I'm going to do is pull this starter relay off, get a little bit better access. And just kind of feed all your wiring down and through, just like so. Now once we have that started, like I said, these are all going to be tucked right in here. You can zip tie these to the main wiring loom just to keep them nice and organized. What I like to do is take this, get it on the side over here, and get this ran along the stock wiring loom. So with that, I'm gonna start over there. So once you got these through, we're gonna go down along the stock wiring loom on this side and feed them through, but we're gonna run up the throttle side of the bike. There's a zip tie right on the frame right there. We're going to follow up right along this side. So give yourself the slack that you need. Don't start any zip ties to kind of ran all the wiring, and you get it up in place. This harness is going to come up this side of the bike and live behind your headlight mask right in there, and you can clean all this up and zip tie it back together once you have everything plugged in. Now on the back, this plug is a license plate light. We will not be using this. If you want to add a license plate light, we can make that happen, but the tail light illuminates the license plate just fine, especially if you use the tail tidy. It has a license plate light built in, so you will not need this plug. So what we're going to do is we will tuck that in the under fender routing right here when we put that all back together. These are your turn signals. Again, red is left, red is not right, green is right. And what you'll do is you'll feed these plugs through the hole on the throttle side of the bike and bring them down. And down here where you can access the rear portion. I'll leave those right there. That's basically it for running your wiring. Now we're going to put on the switch and start hooking up signals. But this is a super simple install. Shouldn't take too long at all. So on your switch, your Euro switch that we went over earlier, this is a 6mm bolt, this is a 4mm Allen. So we will take the 4mm, we'll take that out, take 6, take that out, put your new switch right up in here. So, grab the bottom part of your switch. Hook it up. Wiring is fighting me. Make sure the wiring is tucked up into that slot right here. There we go. Like so. We will take the 6mm in the back. That's started. I'm not going to tighten that yet. Take a 4mm Allen. Come up through the front. Now what I like to do on this switch, you can see how the gap is right now. I'm going to leave that. I like to take the switch and angle it up about like that, so when you're riding it's easier to use, better ergonomics. And what we're going to do is we're going to tighten the back of the switch first. Don't overdo these guys, doesn't take much torque, it's a little T-handled. And then we're going to tighten the front. If you over tighten this front, it squeezes down on the turn signal button, doesn't make it as easy to use. So start with the back, seal the gap on the switch, go to the front, give it a snug, make sure your turn signal button's easy to use. Now, I really like the layout of this switch. Very simple to use while you're riding. Horn, kill switch, high, low, left, right. You got rid of your kill switch that was already there. You're not cluttering up the bars anymore. Fits right on the Sherco like it was meant to be there. So So now that we got that done, these are your wires for your switch. You're going to run them under the master cylinder mount, and you're going to follow your lights on and light on, or off, excuse me, light on, light off switch. Come down here, and we can zip tie these down there to keep them secure. So, plugging in your switch, very straightforward. This guy plugs into your 6-pin connector that came off the headlight adapter harness. Your turn signal harness is going to plug into the switch right here, like so. And then this guy is your kill switch wire. Again, give it a little spin when you're plugging them in, and you'll feel a click when it seats all the way. So that is all plugged in. You're going to just zip tie and get these things up and out of the way. Your flasher relay. Now what I like to do on the Shercos is actually take the speedo bolt out of here and just put it right there. Put the speedo bolt back in. I'm not going to do that on this bike because this bike was loaned to us and I don't want to take it apart more than I have to. But that is where I would mount this. And this guy, you see the plug coming off of your turn signal harness. Just like that. Get it mounted up here. Okay. Coming to your turn signals. So these are handguard turn signals. Now you can mount these anywhere that you want to. It is a 7/16 drill bit for the hole size that you need. I'm going to mount them here or here. I'm not going to do it on this bike because, again, this is a loaner bike. But anywhere that you can drill a 7/16 hole, depending on your state's requirements, you could even mount them into your headlight mask up here and here. So kind of a universal mount anywhere that you want to put them. Now to do these, very simple. We're going to take both these lock nuts off. Slide them all the way down over the connector. We're only going to reuse one of these. So, if I had drilled the hole, this would come through like that, through the 7/16 hole, would sit flush, and then you would come in, after it's been put through the hole, slide your lock nut on, tighten it to the plastic, and to get these to not move, you can use a dab of medium Loctite if you'd like. I honestly just put them in, and then I use a pair of pliers and just hold the front part and give it a final snug. They usually don't back out, especially with this new moto-minded wiring protector that we have. So once this is ran through and your lock nut is secure on the handguard or plastic surface wherever you are mounting it, you're going to look for the skinnier hole and the fat hole. So we're going to start the connector through the fat hole, work that all the way up, and this will press over the signal and protect the wiring and guide it to where you want to go. Same thing before you do any zip ties, get all your parts mounted. Now with your switch wires and everything else, you can just guide the wires down the same zone right there and get this tucked in and plugged in behind your headlight mask. Now since this is the left signal, you will find your red turn signal plug. Plugs in just like that. So once you get both your turn signals mounted and everything, you can now clean up your wiring, zip tie it, organize it how you would like to do it. Your headlight is ready to plug back in. So this is your old headlight plug that went to the multifunction switch. Right there. And this is your new headlight plug coming out of the multifunction switch. And if you notice, this plug has 4 wires going into it. That's because this bulb already has high and low on it. So once you plug this in, like so, you now have high and low on your headlight where you only had on and off before. Now your stock on and off switch will still control all the lights on your bike, on and off. Even if you turn this off, you will still have a brake light activated by your front brake. But it will turn off your running light in the back and your headlight. Your kill switch will work no matter what. So we're going to take this off right now, just get it out of the way. Coming to the rear of the bike, you've now got your wires back here. If you're doing a tail tidy, you're just going to remove this tail light and remove the wiring and everything for the tail light, and it'll be kind of a different looking kit. It'll have the plug for the 3 wires up here, and then it'll have 2 leads off of the tail light that'll be for your turn signals right here. So that's going to be different than the kit that we're doing today, but it's very simple, same orientation of the wires and everything, plug in everywhere. On this one, we're going to show you how we're going to be doing our we'll be showing you how we're doing our rear flush mount signals. Another product from Motominer that we just got are these flush mount signals, which are really cool. So we're going to take both lock nuts off of this. Now feeding these through can be a little bit of a pain, but just kind of get your wire to come up through there. Don't push too hard. Get your sheathing to come up through. And then this just pushes right into the housing like so. Now, the way these are going to sit is just right there, butted up to that edge. So I need to drill 2 holes in your sub fender, and I will let you know drill bit sizes. Pause for a second.
Back in action.
Okay. So this is a 5/32 drill bit for the hardware to bolt through to your sub fender. This is a 21/64 to feed the wire through your sub fender, and then once you do that, you're going to also need to drill one right here on each side, there and there, for this plug to come into here, where you will plug them in to these wires. Now I know this sounds redundant, but putting your whole sub fender back together with all the wiring and not remembering this sucks. Trust me, I've done it. Red is not right. Plug the red into your left signal, plug the green into your right signal. That way when you put it back together, you don't have to take it back apart to redo your turn signals. It sucks. These will mount right up there, super clean, lifetime warranty on our signals. You break them, you pay for shipping, we send you a brand new set. No questions asked. Now when you put everything back together and you got your wire tidied up, this horn is going to come down here, and your tank bolt is right here. And you're going to hold the horn like so, right there. Mount your tank bolt through. These wires will come down and reach right down to your horn. Button the bike back up, install's done. Thanks for checking it out.